All right, so let's get this going. We got a couple people. Yeah, Puck. We're gonna go over the PuckLuck stuff. Jay from PuckLuck is gonna be with me. Got to have the Golden Seals on today after the announcement of that returning. That had to happen. Definitely excited. I kind of wish this logo was involved more, but I can't. I cannot complain. I'm really excited for all the reverse retros. To be honest, I think they did a really good job. So I decided to wear a little something today. Gonna go game by game. Going to run through a ton of stuff, a lot of stuff that's behind a paywall, but we're going to show you today just some stuff on PuckLuck.com. If you're looking for a site to help you with your betting in any capacity, it's, I argue, the best. And maybe that's because I'm biased, but I definitely think it's one of those things that I think if you're someone that likes to check before you bet, it's probably the best source for that because a lot of times we have these priors and these biases, and it's really good to have an unbiased resource to give you maybe a different look at what you're actually betting. I think that's probably it's really tough to do because we, as hockey fans, will watch a game or we have our priors of certain teams. And last night, I think one of that was Colorado, which a lot of people were really high on. I mean, the line seemed pretty good, and I just kept sitting there like, I don't love it. I don't know, like I just couldn't feel good about betting it. So finally, after thinking about it for a while, I go over to PuckLuck, double check it. It doesn't really like it either. It just thinks it's a bad line. Like it just thinks that like this game shouldn't be quite as far as the line indicates. And I'm like, you know what? I'm fading it. I'm not touching it. I'm not betting it. And Seattle gets the W. And I think that a lot of people, I just think it's one of those things where it's not perfect, and math still should equate to Colorado winning. It's not that the math comes back and says, Colorado's not going to win. It's just that the line being offered, the implied odds on that line were genuinely not good. That was the thing. Is like, it seemed like a lot of people I saw on Twitter were saying that was a good line, and it's always good to check. And like it's not perfect though. I mean, the other 2 nights ago, I was kind of if you listen to the Morning Skate podcast, and I'm guessing a lot of you did, you probably know I was kind of high on the Devils, and I was thinking about betting them, going back and forth versus the Islanders. It loved the Islanders, and I was like, I don't like that. So I just faded the game. Devils win it. Sometimes it can go the other way where it makes sense though, with how bad the goaltending has been in New Jersey. It's really hard for a model to take in that information and be like, they'll probably solve that like immediately. You know what I mean? So, sometimes a model's blind spots also exist. So I think it's really good to have multiple resources to go into your process where sometimes it can confirm what you already like, and I think that's okay. It's okay to look for confirmation bias when you're using an unbiased resource. If you want to bet a team like Tampa and you go to the Tampa beat reporters, and I think you're going to find a reason to bet Tampa or Tampa fans. If it's like that's probably not a good check. I think an unbiased model is a good check. And we'll kind of run through what it looks like on PuckLuck.com. I think it's going to be really interesting. Jay's going to be joining in just a second. He's just fixing a couple things on the website. I guess, no time like the present. I might as well share my screen. What are we waiting for? I'll just start going through. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can kind of pull up this. Yeah, welcome. I know. Okay, whoa, chill. Pull up the lines. We can, actually, while we're waiting, let's actually run through probably one of the more interesting things that isn't really found anywhere else. This is just sort of something really Matt built, more Matt and Doug kind of built that we use. It's not anywhere else besides on my computer, but you can this is where I kind of pull the iCourse per game from Natural Stat Trick, which you can manually do. It just, all it really does is take out the iCourse for 60, which the reason why I don't like that as much, and I tweeted about it, but it might be confusing. So this is shot attempts per game, which levels the playing field for players that are playing more minutes or less minutes. It helps me to kind of weed through, a guy like Brandon Lemieux the other night had like 10 shots at the goal in like 9 minutes. It was insane. I don't really want that to be clouding my judgment too much because his iCourse per 60 is just to the moon because he only played like 10 minutes and he had like 10 shot attempts. And it's like now it's like, okay, so every minute he's gonna have a shot attempt. That isn't true, right? So the per 60 is better. So these are the players. Ehlers is on the IR now, so we can cross him out. I'm going to be back on Yossi again. Absolutely tilting that he has not gotten a point yet. I bet him. I was really pretty high on it against Columbus. I don't think Columbus is all that good. Their goaltending's been pretty bad. Roman Yossi goes out, has a rates monster game, and just doesn't get a point. I guess I haven't looked at his odds today for a point. He's on the slate, right? Am I losing my mind? Yeah, every team's on the slate today. Let's just pull that up really quick. So player props against a terrible, terrible team. Only minus 165. So I'll probably come back to that again for a parlay because it does feel safe. Or if you want to get a little more, I mean, this 3.5 seems pretty strong as well for Yossi. I just think that the well's going to break and it's going to snap and he's going to have an absolute monster game. And as I'm showing you here, it's like there's only one guy in the league shooting more right now than Roman Yossi. It's unbelievable that he has not gotten a point yet. I mean, another stat that I like to pull is just the I expected goals. So this is individual expected goals for the player. This is not per game. This is like on the season. So it's like Zibanejad, who has how many goals? 4 goals. It should have 4 goals. He's playing great. It's kind of also shows me which players are unlucky and lucky. So here's a player, Boone Jenner, 0 goals on almost 3. So that kind of shows me like, wow, this guy has not gotten any of the puck bounces, any of the luck. What are his odds? And that's another way I kind of look at this. That's why I find guys like Sam Bennett and Bjorkstrand who are just not scoring. Bjorkstrand right here, it just keeps showing up as like wow, this guy should score more. Definitely should have more than 1 goal. If you watched the game last night, Seattle, holy crap, this guy just could not buy a goal. It was very, very frustrating. Kuzmenko, my boy here, like this is one of the things I start with. And I know the sample size is really small. I normally do the 10-game rolling average to give myself 1 look and then full season for the other. I can change it to go back to last year, but I'm not going to go through that process. That's pretty annoying. This is more of like a DFS type of thing that we use, which I'm not going to get into, but sometimes it can show me play. I'm not going to look at this guy 12 minutes of ice time, but he had 5 shot attempts and 2 blocks in like 12 minutes. So it's like, oh, he has a floor, and I'm not going to look at him. But sometimes you can find a guy down the line a little bit. That's what pointed out David Savard to me on some of the smaller slates. You can consider him because the floor is so high. I mean, his ceiling isn't very high, but it's like a 3-game slate. You just think like, oh, what if he gets, a good number of blocks and then also gets a point or something? Like he's not likely to score at all. He's not really shooting much. But this kind of just tool we use to kind of sort through some of the players, and this is a lot of the time my first step where I'm starting, just to sort of look through and see players that are shooting a lot, because I get trends betters. There's a lot of trends betters. I think in hockey, more than almost any other sport, the trends inherently maybe come together a little bit better. Like, so a lot of people like the home road splits in hockey, which in almost every sport is complete garbage. And the only reason I don't think in hockey it's quite as bad, which I don't use it really, but the home road split kind of better people that are like, oh, I got home, he hits at this percentage of time. I think it's not the fact that he's home, the player. Let's just take a guy like Ovechkin, right? Let's just say at home he hits on his shot prop like 8 out of 10 times. Okay, 8 out of 10 times, and on the road he hits 6 out of 10 times, or 5 out of 10 times, or 4, whatever, doesn't matter. So people are like, oh, he's home, it's better. So inherently you might think like there's a trend that exists here, but like, what is causing that trend? And it's probably just the fact that teams that are home can line match up. They can get Ovechkin in favorable matchups. They can try to get him against defensemen that might not be quite as good at blocking shooting lanes or etc. So like I think that there is a reason why it exists, because there actually in hockey is a home ice advantage. That it's very obvious that the ability to line match and get the last change. So what that means, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, is when they blow the whistle, the away team has to put out their line, and then the ref looks at the home bench, and then they're allowed to put out their line, meaning that the home team can wait till the away team, they see the players going out, and then they can put their lineup out. So that's the only reason why, in some capacity, there is a trend that exists there. I don't really look at those trends because I don't think that like it's very much, to me, it's like, are we being reactive or predictive? And I think that's very reactive to say like, well, because this happened in the past, it's going to happen in the future. So I am trying to be more predictive this year. That's really why we've developed some new tools, which I'm not going to get into. I don't even know if we have it right now, actually. Let's take a peek. I don't even know if I asked about what's going on with that. That's a good point. No, I didn't do it. But yeah, we'll worry about that later. But yes, this is sort of what I start my process with for player props. Just again, individual expected goals, which you can find on Natural Stat Trick. This is not, go to Natural Stat Trick. You know what? I'll show you. You know what? I'm a visual learner. That's kind of how I developed a lot of my stuff. Is like I want to be a visual learner, and I want other people to understand what I'm doing rather than just me say words like individual expected goals and pretend people know exactly what I'm talking about. Not that saying anyone's stupid. It's more of just if you didn't know what that was, how good you're not just going to magically know because I said it. You see what I mean? Or like where to find it, more or less. So let me just quickly show you what I mean here. And Jay is just running in, but let's just go to rates on Natural Stat Trick. If you've never been, okay, let me pull in Jay. This is boring. This is all I got to do. You'll get it from there. Okay, Jay, what's going on?
Hey, DJ.
Yeah, I was just kind of running through a few little things before we got started with all your stuff. I sort of pulled up my little R thing and was running through some of the players, just sort of going over a beginning process for player props, and then we'll go game by game. But yeah, let me give the floor to you. So Jay from PuckLuck, let me just let you give the pitch, give the elevator pitch. And while you're doing that, I'll pull up the website. Unless if you need a minute. You need a minute, or are you ready to go?
Just trying to get everything reloaded because I just had to restart my computer. But
No, it's
so for PuckLuck.com, obviously we focus on the betting and fantasy aspect of the NHL. So we basically give game projections, project game scores, project win probabilities, and all that kind of stuff at PuckLuck. Basically to give you a guide to your betting. So we handicap, we have our own lines, and then basically just compare that to the sports book, see where the edges are, and more often than not, you'll profit off of it. So that's the overall goal. Obviously, we're adding a bunch of other tools and useful things for subscribers. That way, they'll have a better betting experience, a more enjoyable betting experience with these tools. If they want to focus on specific props or if they want to focus on specific teams, trends of specific teams, trends in the NHL in general, all that is tracked on the site. So, so far, obviously it's early in the season, but we're seeing a huge trend with overs hitting, which is pretty nuts. Because scoring isn't way up necessarily. It's just scoring in certain games is way up. So, and then certain games is way down. So basically with the data that we're gathering, we'll be able to better predict when that's going to even out and what's going on with that. So it's all that kind of stuff. We did just launch our subscription service a couple weeks ago. So if you're a subscriber, you'll have access to more of these tools. But there's different levels, different packages. So whatever best suits you is really up to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the one thing I was saying before you got on is, I think the one thing that happens a lot with the betting community, whether you are actively touting or whether you're just someone that tries to do it on their own completely, it's, again, like last night, I think was the perfect example of a Colorado team that I felt like the public was really on. And I didn't like it. I just was like, I don't like this. With a lot of the stuff I'm looking at, I go to PuckLuck, I double check, and I'm like, no, this line just isn't good. Like everyone's telling me it's good, it's not good. And I think having some sort of a backup, and again, because like I think people are a lot smarter than they give themselves credit for. It's not that, and people are genuinely pretty good at seeing a line and thinking like there is an edge or isn't an edge. But having no unbiased resource to back you up is definitely detrimental. I think if you're a huge hockey fan and you're a fan of certain players and teams, you're doing yourself a massive disservice by not having any sort of a backbone. And having the ability to just program and build this stuff is not something almost anyone has. So, if it's like I feel like if you bet more than like $100 a night, or not, I mean, maybe that's even going high. Like if you bet $50 a night, and you're trying to do this for any sort of I want to actually pull out money and like try to get a vacation, or like, it's not that much money to go in find a site, and there just isn't a site. I mean, the only thing that used to do this is The Athletic had Dom's model, and it's the only site that ever had any sort of a betting tool that I actually really liked, because it told me,
Right.
like, these are the odds, this is my odds, and I'm like, perfect, like that's what I am doing too, and that's what I tell people, like,
Right.
that's how I bet. And I would do the show, and people would be like, "Are you an idiot? You think Arizona is going to beat Colorado?" And I was like, "No, I don't. I think that they're less likely to lose than Vegas does." But so the just having the bull, wait, so that would be this one, right? I think. Hold on, let me check. The pro would give you access to all the games.
Yeah. So you have, if you have the pro, you have access to all the number data and the edges for every single game. So you'll be able to see that under PuckLuck picks for the based
Yeah,
on numbers portion.
and to me,
And then
yeah, I'm sorry. Let you go.
oh no, yeah,
I'll
no,
wrap
that's
that. I'll
so
keep this up. Oh,
yeah. So every morning, and it's kind of similar to what Dom used to do at the Athletic, is the PuckLuck primer, which does show the initial edges in the morning. Obviously, lineups change, and sometimes the backup goaltender's announced in, or the goaltender we didn't expect, or whatever. So stuff changes throughout the day. So then you'll be able to track it through the website as well. But that
right.
morning primer is good just to get an idea in the morning of what to look out for, what you should focus in on during the day. And like you
Right.
said, it's really up to you. Like if you think there's an edge somewhere, and then you go to PuckLuck, see the data, and you're like, yeah, actually that kind of agrees with me, then it's just more of a confirmation. Like maybe this is where I should go.
Yeah. Another thing that I heard recently that I had never heard, I can't remember exactly. I think it was Rob Bizzola who said it, was, "Am I paying to make this bet?" And I've never heard anyone say that before. And that's another thing about this. You'll see the lines on here are like minus 101 and 101. And you might say to yourself, well, that's never how the lines exist on the site, right? That's not how DraftKings does this, right? It's not,
Right.
because that's the point. The point is, a lot of times, like a minus 110, a minus 110. Okay, well, that isn't mathematically, that doesn't give you a total 100%, right? I mean, that gives you what, like
Exactly.
48 plus 48. So it's really that honestly, that's helped me a lot too to look at this stuff. So I mean, here in this example, it does really like Boston, which I do like. Okay, well, we'll go game by game in a minute. But to me, this has really helped me more than anything to make sure I'm not paying to make a bet. And that is
Well,
something I think a lot of bettors do not realize and do not do. I mean, because most touts don't have any sort of mathematical anything they're using. They're just telling you what to play. And some people do have. I mean, I'm not saying they use nothing. And I think that having any sort of knowledge of hockey and any sort of literally just using something is better than most other sports where all the information is factored in very quickly, where hockey it isn't. But the point I'm making is, am I paying to make this bet is a really, really, really good thought process. And that's cooked right in here. And I've looked at things and I'm like, oh, I kind of like this team at this odds. And then I realize I'm like all I'm doing is pay. Like, this is exactly what Vegas wants. They just want me to pay them. Like that's
exactly.
what their money is. So yeah.
Yeah. There's some games like yesterday, for example, the Lightning Panthers game. It was basically 50-50 based on the PuckLuck projections, right? But then it was, so you go to the sports book and you're like, they kind of have it 50-50 too. It was like minus 110, minus 110, but that's their version of 50-50, which isn't 50-50. It's not paying out 50-50. So it's not smart to bet either side in that aspect. Because unless you really want to just take a flyer, but you just know that the edge isn't in your favor there. So more often than not on games like that, and a lot of these bets, the sportsbook's just making money off you based on the vig. So
yeah, I was so close to betting the draw, and I just couldn't get there. I just was like, something in this. I know Florida's better than Tampa. I'm just not going to bet it. And of course,
the
it gets there.
the OT bet, and of course, yeah, we had a couple
there.
like that yesterday.
And it was funny how everyone was talking about it. Felt like, at least, I don't know. I basically mute everything on Twitter that isn't like hockey. So probably just me. I'm the only one that saw this, but everyone was talking about how there's been no OT games through like 4 nights, and it was like, it's gonna happen. There's no. I was like looking into it. Like, is there a reason? It was like, no, just a lot of luck. But if you're ready, we can start going game by game. Unless if there's anything else you wanted to, and then we'll kind of run through a couple. What time is it? Yeah, it's 12:20. We got plenty of time. So whenever I go game by game, the first thing I also pull up is, I always go to hockeybiz.com, because, like I said from the beginning of the show, I say with almost everything, I'm a visual learner. I very much like to look at exactly what's going on, and a lot of times people, I think with prop betting too, it's like, it's good to actually see exactly what the team did rather than just look at a log and say, okay, well, I mean, DeBrusque, for example, I mean, he had like 100 shots last game. Like what actually happened there? And it's Anaheim, not Minnesota. I try to look through, see exactly, what players like. I mean, Pasternak. I mean, holy crap, he had 100 shots, a bunch get blocked. So this is one thing I look at first before I get into a game because I like to take game by game, go through the lines, go through all the props, see where we're at. So just showing this off because I mean, and also, I mean, I love Micah. He's the best. And this stuff, if you subscribe like I do, I don't know if you're a subscriber, it's posted like 20, 30 minutes after every game. So I find that really interesting. And also, I mean, this is one of the perfect examples. It's like Kaprizov got their last game, but only one 5-on-5 shot. The record is for power play. It always makes me a little nervous. You can't always rely on power plays to come through like they did in this game where they had an exorbitant amount of minutes. So something to keep an eye on because I noticed that with Eric Sinek the other night, everyone was betting his over prop and every single shot he had in the first game came on the power play. So just again, I could not talk about this site enough as well as far as a good thing for props. But your game projections, I mean, you have Boston pretty heavily favored here. I mean, are you jamming Boston?
I do like Boston a lot. Allmark was just announced as a starting goalie. He's been playing pretty well this year, so I like them. It's just Minnesota has been way underperforming, which kind of makes me a little nervous. But my projections take that into account. Obviously, this early in the season, it's more based off of the preseason projection than it is early season performance. We like Boston from the get-go, so they were one of our favorites coming out of the East.
Yeah, it is one of those situations exactly like you said where Minnesota certainly should have been better than this. There's no doubt in my mind that Minnesota isn't a much better team than their record indicates. I mean, I watched a lot of that Vancouver game. It was electric. It was a lot of fun. But I do think that. I mean, what's your projection actually have? Yeah, 6-2-4. I mean, I don't hate the under here, honestly. It's a 1:00 game, which I know is a stupid trend or whatever. And I said I don't really like those trends, but I do think that the afternoon games having, I don't know. I just inherently I think they can come in a little bit lower. But also, I just think that both the Minnesota goaltending should not have been this bad, and I think that that's really overcooking this over. So I think if I was going to do it, I would consider this. I mean, plus money on the under 6.5. You're telling me that 7 goals? I just think that that's fine. Better than a coin flip. So that I would lean that way as well. I don't know if I'd pair them together. That just seems, kind of foolish to assume like Boston. This is one of those things where it's like, if Boston wins, does that mean the under is more likely to hit? I don't really think so. So I think either or you could bet and feel pretty good about. I don't mind the Wild though, like you said. I think if you're someone that's betting Minnesota, I don't think you're wrong inherently because this number is kind of cooking in. I think a lot of how bad the goaltending's been to start the year.
Some of that, and you also have to
hate goalies. So
yeah, well, factor in too. Boston's been one of the better expected goal teams so far to begin the season. So that's kind of it's a different something we didn't expect. I should say. You think of Boston, you think of them more as like defensive forwards and that kind of thing, but that Krejci line has been rolling a little bit, so that's really helped with the goal scoring.
Yeah. The Zuccarello thing, I just if you go to historic rate stats, and I had people that were like, oh, you went, I went with Hartman who pushed over Zuccarello. And it's like, historically, Zuccarello has never shot like this. But he is averaging 8.825 shots per game. Someone just said, I'm joining pro today. Thank you, Matt. Big
Thanks, Matt.
So that's great stuff. But yeah, so Pasternak is shooting the lights out of the puck. I think he leads the league right now. Well, yeah, leads the league in shots per game. Zuccarello's right there as well as just a good value. I think I'm just going to stay away from Kaprizov because I'm pretty sure it was minus money. Let me just check. I think it was minus over 3.5. Yeah, I don't do that. I mean, I think it's him getting there is probably just under a coin flip for me. I don't have the numbers. I'm just not touching this because every shot besides one came on the power play, and the goal, I guess, in theory, right? Because it was overtime, whatever, doesn't really count. So I think if any line here, I don't hate this, but again, I don't know if I want to minus 110 on a 5. That's like 50% of the shots getting on net. Seems kind of fishy. The only one I think is Zuccarello that I feel pretty good about. So I'll just keep this in here. We'll kind of build the card as we go and just sort of, there's a million games, so I'll probably have to exit things out.
And
Next,
and using that new line matchup tool that I just launched on PuckLuck, the matchups projected against the Bergeron line for that top line of Kaprizov, Harman, Zuccarello. But that Bergeron line has actually been worse defensively than you might think. You think Patrice Bergeron, one of the best defensive centers, but Zacha and DeBrusk really haven't contributed a ton defensively. So there is plenty of offensive zone time available for Minnesota against them.
Am I stupid? Where is it?
Go under fantasy.
Okay. Well, now everything just froze. Congratulations.
Nice.
That's on me. I clicked too many times. Hold on. Let's give it a second. Let's give it a second. It's under fantasy. Yeah, I had it up earlier too. Let's just go back. Okay. Oh, line matchups. Yeah, this is actually really cool. Another thing, and if you're in my Discord, we've had people kind of posting some of the lines, like the stacks that are kind of projected well. And this is another kind of good tool where, I think it'd be really useful for DFS, where I'm not playing the 1 o'clock slate. I was jamming college football instead, illegally.
Yeah.
But I do think this is a really interesting way of looking at things because, I think Boston at home, especially, Bergeron's going to be really blanketed on this line, which I do think is, I don't know, I'm still sort of on the this is sort of an uncoverable line in like a complete aspect, but Bergeron should do enough to slow them down. Like, could they still win the 1 o'clock slate? Yes. Is Bergeron make me double check that and not like it as much? Absolutely. So I do agree. We are getting, I would definitely make sure, because Boston, they're bringing back Locko and what's his name?
Yeah,
Craig
Locko's
Smith.
in.
So not that makes a big difference. Marco Rossi's been a complete non-factor to start the year, which was a concern. They haven't really played him much. I think if we pull up that last Minnesota game, I think he got his most run he'd had.
Yeah, he did. He was finally on that line. But Boldy and Gaudreau can carry that line, but still it's just a I mean, it's not necessarily the best matchup.
Marco Rossi needs some seasoning there. But yeah, we should keep moving. We're not going to get through the 1 o'clock games before 1 o'clock. So we'll get to the Sharks and the Devils. Why is this so big? Why can't I just make this small? Oh, whatever. Yeah. Oh wow. Minus 200. Jesus. Yeah, this feels like a hard fade for me. I don't.
Well, and here's the thing.
I love the Devils.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people love the Devils this early. Obviously, they struggled right out of the gate, but last game they dominated. But you look at the Sharks, and they've just been bad, real bad.
Yeah.
So we're showing edges in favor of the Sharks on money line and puck line here, but in reality, do you really trust it? That's one of those things. Like, yeah, there's an edge, but we also, there we
go.
Yeah, we're close to 50% on them. It's just because of not trusting New Jersey's goaltending is really the big thing.
Yeah, right. And yeah. So it's funny how this was part of the reason I feel like your thing absolutely was adoring the Rangers last time, and I just was like, you know what? I'm not betting this line. Like, I know like the Rangers should have beat the Sharks, like that was a stupid game or whatever, but it just kind of goes to show you that even when you think there's like absolutely no way a team could possibly lose, Shesterkin in net, all that stuff. I don't know why. There's really no good like solid reason behind why I just decided to fade that one out. But it
was just a bad collapse.
Yeah, and I'm still kicking myself. I was going to bet the Devils last time out, but I didn't. I just, again, it was sort of like one of those things where once Mackenzie Blackwood was in net last time, I was like, I can't do it. I'm not able to mentally bet on Mackenzie Blackwood after he couldn't stop a beach ball. But yeah, I think that this is I think an easy fade for me. 1 o'clock game. I don't love the lines. I think if this was, I think 170, I might consider it. But minus 200, absolutely not. And that just cooked into the puck line, which whatever. As far as props are concerned, I keep wanting to get back to Timo Meyer. I don't know if plus 150. I'm hoping it gets even better. Hughes has been awesome. On Underdog, I don't know if it changed, but they had Bratt for 2 shots on goal. I did bet it with a couple others.
That's a good one because, again, with that line matchup, the Hischier Palat Bratt line is projected against that Hertl Meyer Barabanov. And
Yeah.
that Sharks line is just putrid defensively. So there should be a lot of zone possession.
Can you find one that's good defensively? If you find
it, that's very true. That's very
true. They just don't have defense. Jesper Bratt.
Maybe the Lorentz line with Nieto is good defensefully, but it's not going to matter because they're not going to match up.
They're never going to have the puck is the problem. Like they have a lot of time to play defense, and but yeah, Bratt was 2 on underdog, and I jammed it. He's a guy that will kind of shoot from anywhere when he has the chance. It's just like depending on his line mates, it's been a little thin. To start the year, he didn't have good line mates at all, so he didn't look great. But yeah, he still had 2 on underdog. I think that's a good bet. I mean, I kind of hate the push there because but it's fine because I have been really just jamming the 5 legs, and I can go over that. I'm gonna go over that on a different show. Why? He's fine. I mean, Hughes, Timo's still really good, and then Dougie freaking Hamilton. I mean, everyone that listens to anything I say knows I adore the man. So for shots on goal, though, I mean, I think that this plus 120 for Bratt is in play. I don't think it's correct. He's a lot of 5-on-5 shots as well. Let me check. That's the one thing I don't pull enough of. I gotta figure out how to pull just 5-on. I think that this is all power play cooked in, which whatever. Bratt's not the trigger guy always on the power play. Like Dougie shoots so much, and they want Hughes. But let's take a peek. Yeah, he had 1 on the power play, missed the net a bunch. This is gonna break. I mean, they were winning that game by so much, and they probably just didn't have Bratt out there. I think this is a really good line for Bratt over 2.5 at big plus money. Hughes maybe, probably not. Dougie. Betting a defenseman over 3.5 always makes me feel queasy because of
you never know block shots and all that.
I mean, just bet him for a point. What the hell? Like, why would you? Like, if he gets 5 shots on goal and doesn't have a single point, that seems pretty crazy.
Yeah, and the power play runs through him, so it's
what they got there?
Point, come on.
330. What was there? Oh, actually now I'm thinking because they kind of put everything in a blender. What was their power play one? Now I just want to double check. It was Mercer. All right. Well, I got to get on the phone now. I got to bet that. Dawson Mercer was power play 1 plus 600. I mean, I'm actually gonna put that one in before. I don't want to. Whenever I log in on my computer, it makes everything run way slower, so I'm not logged in on there. So sorry for everyone that's gonna watch me place a bet on my phone right now. Any thoughts on New Jersey? I don't think they won 11-7, but I mean Mercer with Hughes full time as well, like plus 110 for a point at all. It's probably okay. But plus 600, Dawson Mercer, anytime power play point, which I guess why am I even saying anytime? It's a point when he's on the power play. Plus 600 power play 1 against the Sharks, who just they have no good defensemen either. Like, it's not like it's like, oh no, but we forget they have fucking Vlasic. Like, no. So yeah, I think that's a pretty strong line.
I will say the Sharks did a good job against the Rangers power play, which is regarded as one of the best in the NHL. So they had some decent penalty killers, but at the same time, I mean, how do you not at plus 600?
Plus 600 for a power play 1 against the Sharks. It feels.
I mean,
feels
a bad power play converts 20% of the time. So come on.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder now. I looked at that Rangers game, 3.3. I mean, look how many times they missed the net on the power play. Holy crap! They could not hit the net.
Yeah, they were firing all over the place.
Yeah, they're just trying to find a goal. I'm willing to forgive the Rangers and still think the Sharks suck. I think I'm going to do it.
It's true.
Yeah, Mario Ferraro was the guy. That is the one guy that's good defensively on this entire team. That is the guy that you have to remember that can actually play defense.
And your boy LeBanc is back in, but it looks like he's getting run on the 4th line, maybe. So
yeah, I don't know.
You don't like him, but
no, I don't get it. Like, he literally was the only guy producing offense in the first 2 games that wasn't on the first line, and they're like, too much offense.
He should be first power play too, and he's not. So it's just
I don't get it.
What is that? That should be a trade target for a sneaky that's a sneaky good ad for a team on the verge of doing something.
Yeah, he fell off a little bit. Expected goals. Howell has been a guy that I actually bet his under on shots one night, and he got there in the late 3rd period. But he's a guy that I keep wondering, what is his role on the Devils? We don't have to go that micro on every freaking game, though. We're going to be here all night.
That's
but I just I feel like there's a lot of guys right now that early on in the season are shooting a bit more than they're going to, and I think that eventually a guy like Howell, once I think the Devils figure it out. He's back there with Tatar and Wood now. I think that's a guy to keep an eye on for under bets because he's been, I don't think it's on this slate. I doubt it. But he's been a guy that was like plus money for an under 2.5 on shots. And that's a thing that now we're going to start getting into under mode sooner or later. But
yeah, for sure.
3, we go to 4:00 now, right? Is that right?
Yep, 4:00 games. I think there's 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh boy. The Coyotes are back. I don't know. It's a good start. Coyotes are really, really bad.
Yeah. So what? Over on shots for every single Ottawa center? Is that what you want to do?
Yes. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, the lines have moved a lot. Norris was the guy that I kept saying like this is going to happen. Like we're going to get the Josh Norris. We're going to get it. He finally hit it last game. By 1. It's fine there, but I just like Batherson more. His role has just been better. He scored the 2 power play goals, which is fine. I did bet him on underdog as well over 2 because I just think that there's going to be a ton of shots. Batherson is on a line that I think they were all in the power play. I know I hate that, but for 2, I'm totally fine with it. He's just a guy that like that line is so freaking good. The Batherson, the Chuck, Stutzel line that I just don't really care. Like that line should absolutely pile drive the Coyotes. So Batherson for 2 on underdog, I like even more, but I'm totally fine playing it. Plus whatever it was, plus 130. Jesus Christ. I mean, that's a lot for a guy that has historically pretty good rate stats. We'll check on the season.
Don't bet anything Coyotes unless it's a power play point for Nick Ritchie because that is literally the only thing that hits for them. It's unbelievable.
Keller was big plus money for over on shots 2.5. I bet that last time out. Yeah, he was plus like 125 for over 2.5. It's like what the heck?
He's projected to face a very good defensive line today. That Tyler Mott, Matthew Joseph, Shane Pinto line has been good defensively. So that's what they've been limiting shots.
Yeah,
so even like their daily fantasy slate rank is like 45th today out of all the games. So like that, and that's the top line for the Coyotes. That's not good.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the Batherson. I know only 4 attempts per game, but I think that's on the rise, and I think that he's a guy that gets like probably more shots on net than he's getting a little over half right now.
I will say the Coyotes have been better defensively than you might think. So it's if their goaltending's solid, then shots are one thing. Points I wouldn't necessarily expect I don't expect a barn burner of a game.
No, I just think Ottawa is going to shoot a ton. I
mean, shoot from anywhere, so that's why. Yeah.
What was DeBrincat? Minus 120. Jesus.
How many shots did Ottawa have last game? Like I don't know, 40 something. I mean, like high 40s, I think.
Just looking at that, I know it was over 40. I think it was 40 on net at least, and then attempts they had they're shooting a lot because they're just always on offense because they're good.
Right.
This is a good team. We have to just admit that. But with all that being said as well, as far as lines are concerned, I'm fine with it. I don't hate the puck line here, but I don't think it's necessary. It's just fine. Like minus, I don't know. It's okay. The puck line's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm staying off this game for that stuff, and I'm staying off it for daily fantasy too because I just don't see any of these stacks necessarily panning out, and it's going to be overplayed. So
yeah, if you are stacking it though, I think we made this point before on the Morning Skate podcast, but Norris as a one-off is fine. You could just play Norris in any lineup and hope because his power play role is unique in the sense that he, if you watch their power, just watch one Ottawa power play one and realize that they want him to shoot. It's just it hasn't quite gotten there yet. And if you watch the Batherson goals, they were kind of like these broken plays, gets to Batherson, he's going to shoot. But Norris is a good one-off, and then if you're going to stack a line, it's just you stack the whole line here, all power play correlated. That's it. And I think it's going to be piled on, like you're saying, and whatever. But Edmonton and St. Louis, we should have Brusnevich back. We should have, I think a pretty fun, good matchup. I do lean Edmonton here, but as the odds indicate, I think the Blues are a fine bet. Mainly, goaltending is weird. I don't trust Edmonton's goalies at all, to be honest. So I might just fade this. I think I would consider the under 7, but I'd probably
definitely consider the under 7.
Yeah, I just tease it down, I think, to 6.5 for plus money because I'm not playing for a push. You know what I mean? I'm playing for the under. I'm playing for 6, so I probably tease it down myself the way I bet, and I know if it hits 7, I can cry about it. But the under is the way to go here. If anything, is there anything you're seeing that I'm not?
No, it's just when Edmonton's at home, they do kind of tend to stack their top couple lines. So they'll throw Nugent Hopkins up in the top 6. They'll throw Draisaitl with McDavid a lot, just to take advantage of matchups. So goal scoring can be up for Edmonton at home, but it's still like the Blues are solid defensively no matter what line they really throw out there. So it's, I don't know, I don't see anything out of the ordinary where I'm like, oh, take advantage of this, because it's really just you expect, McDavid and Draisaitl to do McDavid and Draisaitl things.
Yeah, if you do bet the under on this game, don't watch it. That's my best advice of the entire slate. If you bet the under, just go get a beer at 4:00 and don't put on the other game, because you're gonna just sit there the whole time like, oh shit, McDavid has the puck.
Plus, if you get a bad Binnington game, oh man, you're gonna.
Yeah, or if Jack Campbell gives up 4 goals in the first 5 mines, he
has not been good so far.
The game should be an under. If goaltending kills you, it kills you. If you bet the over, you're, I think, kind of psychotic, because 7 is just absurd, and you're going to get minus money on the 6. And I don't think you do it and feel good.
And there's better over games.
Yeah,
there's just better over games today. We're getting
really
to
quick. Let's just pull this up just for fun. Vander Kane's been I'm going to go to Buchnevich. What was his odds? I just want to check he's not even on here. I want to check the injury. I don't even know what it was. Like, they were so weird about it. He went out for practice. I do like to double check those things before I make a bet, just in case that we get any news of if it is upper body, what if it is a wrist injury? I don't know. Maybe I'll fade it for that reason. He's not even offered right now. Who cares? But I do think Buchnevich is going to be a guy you really want to keep an eye on, because he's been at over 2 bet on most of the Prize Picks underdogs, and big plus money at 2.5. And he's just a good rate shooter. I don't really get why we start the year off and they're just no, he's not. Kyrou is the guy I bet last time. I think he was he over 2? Let me check that. I think he was over 2 as well on underdog. And I would go back to it. No, it's 2.5 now. I think it started at over 2, just because his line mates are not shooters. It's they're actively trying to get him to shoot. I don't know what I don't think Edmonton's good defensively either. So. And
he's the one rush player on that line too. So, he's the one who's getting up the ice, and he can have those breaks and get shots that way. So,
he's minus 125 seems a little thin. That's probably why it moved. I'm pretty sure I got it at 2. I could be wrong. I guess if I got it at 2.5, I'm still open for 3 anyways. But if you look at the Blues, if you watch them play and you see Kyrou, it's everything they're doing is to get him to shoot the puck, because he has one of the better shots probably in the league. He's probably in the top 10, 15% of actually good shots in the league. So anything else here you may be asking? Probably no. I mean, plus 140 always gets me thinking. It always makes me think oh boy, what are the odds he gets for? I think he was with Draisaitl and Nugent. I don't know. It's
it's just tough, because who's getting the shots on that line? I mean, Nugent Hopkins isn't the shooter, but Draisaitl, is the one they're trying to feed.
It's fine. Bouchard, I went over him in a lot of depth on Morning Skate podcast, because while the minutes haven't been crazy, we'll double check. Well, let's check it again. The last game we checked, he had just an absurd amount of offensive zone starts. Well, this one, he just started the neutral zone every time, but he's been the guy that they're just trying to get out there in ozone minutes. No, I don't want that. So I've been keeping an eye on him, but what was the run like?
Do you think eventually they're going to move him to power play 1? Because it seems trending that way, and they're using Barry on the penalty kill now, which is something that's never been done.
Yeah, Tyson Barry's really bad at hockey, so they should do it. 21 minutes. It's okay. Evan Bouchard is one of he really should be talked about more in a I wouldn't quite go Dougie Burns category, but in a much more of a second tier top fantasy asset. And it just needs the power play 1. 5 shot attempts per game. I don't know. I don't love it. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm probably not going to include it in. It's a straight bet only type of thing. I don't know. I don't think there's any real good juice here. The one player I was hoping for was Evander Kane to be better than this, and he's not. He's shooting a lot, but like I said, I think this game's a little bit slower than people are giving it credit for. I think people are really thinking this is going to be great. And then, one bet that I almost always place is Yeah, minus 150. I'll probably just not do it this time. But he's been at like minus 120 all season, Robert Thomas, and I just think he's one of the more elite playmakers in the league. So
Yeah,
if we can
he's
move,
definitely is.
we can move over there. So yeah, under is fine, under 6.5, but that's about it. Oh boy, Tampa and the Islanders. Jesus,
Not a 7 o'clock.
I'd rather not. I just rather not like put myself through even looking at this game. But here we go.
What, Tampa Islanders?
I don't know. Both of these teams right now are kind of on my like. I don't really. I think I don't like either of them as much as the public.
For sure.
The
one thing is Brian Elliott's in goal, so just remember that when you're thinking points for
it's
tonight.
easy then. It's an easy game. That's the Islanders money line now. Congrats. No,
Yeah,
you don't have to do it, but I really don't even hate it. Plus, what do we have? Well, let's take a look.
There was talk about Islanders lines getting shuffled in a blender, and I haven't seen any updates yet. Of course, I haven't checked in the last 20 minutes, but the it really doesn't matter who plays with who. It's just keep an eye on their top 3 lines are all basically equal, and it's not like the offense runs through Barzal all the time or anything like that because Brock Nelson creates just as much. It seems like so.
Yeah, I think Tampa's pretty porous defensively. If you're, there's no shot totals right now, but I'm gonna go back to Noah Dobson, who got 3 shots last game. I don't know if you saw it's like normally I can at least see the other side. That one I really like. I slowed it down. I'm like, it clearly went off the blocker. Like you watch the goalie the entire way, move towards it and push the. I don't understand it, but there's no sense crying about it. I just want the NHL to be better. Like I don't like. I know a lot of people are like, they like message the sports books and they're like, give me my refund. And it's like, it's not the sports book's fault. It's not their fault. There's nothing they can do. They say in all their stuff that they have to rely, and the NHL uses 1920s technology to track this stuff. And it's just frustrating. So we're not going to get a lot of props from here on out, unfortunately. Maybe goalie props could be interesting. Boy, that doesn't.
Tampa hasn't been shooting at a high rate either,
No,
so it's
the under.
Sorokin's been stopping everything, but it's just
yeah.
I don't trust goalie saves.
Honestly, no. I mean the Islanders have actually been a lot worse defensively than I think people would assume. Again, it's super small sample size, so I don't want to. I don't use this as like gospel. Let's go all strengths and rates because not every team's played the same amount of games, so using counts are kind of useless. But the Corsi against, they are 6th worst right now. They just haven't been good defensively, and I mean they played Florida, they played New Jersey, who's been a pretty good rates team. They played a couple of really good rates teams, so like I'm okay for giving them maybe a little bit more. Like I don't think they actually are the 6th worst defensive team as far as shot attempts given up, but I just, this game just screams whatever I bet's going to be wrong. As far as the, I think a lot of people are going to be back on like the Stamkos shot prop, all that stuff. It's gotten to a point now where I have absolutely no interest. I was kind of in on all of the guys. Last night I bet Kucherov again because it did dip a little bit, and pretty much everyone got there. But I don't think I'm going to get back there because it's going to be. Stamkos minus probably 120 over 3.5. And I know he's been shooting, but I mean, this is the guy I think is going to be.
A lot of it's been power play too. So if he's missing the net or those shots are getting blocked on the penalty kill, then he's done for as far as the over for shots.
It's gonna break. I totally agree. I mean, Dobson's the guy I'm going to go back to. He's going to be plus money over 2.5. I'm hoping to get in that plus 130, 140 range, and he's shooting 8 attempts per game. Last game was like his lowest attempts, and he still had like 4 or 5. I think 4. I'm going back to him for sure. He really might be their 2nd or 3rd best offensive player, and he plays defense. So the books just kind of give him a tough break. And Wallstrom's a guy I might take a peek at, but he's not seeing much more than 12, 13 minutes of ice time per game. So that's tough. Tampa side, again, I don't know. I'm just not going to go there. All of the guys they're going to get nerfed because of how many times they're hitting the over. So with all that being said, though, I still would consider Wallstrom plus 350. I believe he was power play 1. Don't quote me on it yet. No, crap. What is wrong with them? Why can't they just do smart stuff and put Wallstrom?
He's their best power play forward, and they don't use him on power play 1. It's unbelievable.
They fire.
I think last year he was. Last year he was a healthy scratch after leading the team in power play goals, which was just like why.
He didn't start
him on the 4th line if you have to or do something. I don't know.
He didn't start game 1, and no one knew why. And everyone's like, well, he might be hurt. And it's like, okay, this is freaking clown college. Like, are you kidding me? Like, whatever. I was really hoping Lane Lambert would be different, and he's not. It's like you give him a second chance, the Islanders. You're like, all right, Torts is gone. Maybe they'll be better now. And they give us no news. I think it's just Lou being a loser.
Don't trust anything that Lambert does. Some of his quotes, I'm just like, this is
I think he's an idiot.
Old school thinking. It's unbelievable.
I think he's an idiot, and it's really sad. I was hoping he wouldn't be, but yeah, I think Wallstrom for a goal is fine. I already have. I was going to say, I wonder what his expected goals were. I have that up. Why can't I get it? Come back. Expected goals. It's not good. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, he's on a defensive line too.
Yeah, he's just. I don't understand how they can't figure it out. Okay, we can move to that. I hate this game. So
yeah,
good. Let's get off it. I like this game. This is a fun one. Now we're talking. We're going Toronto and Winnipeg.
Okay.
This one could be fun. Let's look. What is the line first off? -170. Give me better than that. Okay. I was really hoping to bet Toronto here. I think it's
nope.
Yeah, it's
nope.
just
it's the other way.
God, it is. I know.
Big edge for the Jets.
I can't believe that. This is a line that I thought this would be like a pick 'em.
At +135, it was a big edge. Now it's +145. Don't trust Toronto. I'm telling you. I mean, Samsonov's been good. I will say that, but don't trust Toronto this year.
Yeah, I was just assuming this would be like a pick 'em on the road, and it's wow. Okay, yeah, it's the Jets.
No Ehlers for the Jets, obviously, but
they're
Appleton's a good player. Yeah, they're
wow.
I mean, they match up well against this team. It's just
I did not expect that at all. And again, like I think this is almost a good example of like going into a game and using math rather than just like I like a side, because like I think Toronto, I thought the books would just be crushing them because they haven't been good, and the books are like, no, this team's good.
This is a good example, DJ, of like, so you have something in your head and then you see the stats kind of support it the other way. Maybe you stay off it. Maybe you don't want to go with, the numbers necessarily because of what you had in your head previously, but then, you just stay off it or whatever, just knowing that, things aren't necessarily in your favor. So
yeah, I just assumed this would be like a -110 spot where I consider Toronto, and it's -170. As that's not what I expected. I don't know if I'm going puck line or anything, but reverse puck line, I guess that would be for Winnipeg. But I'm fine with this. That's just the better side.
Money line's a big play today.
I'm on it.
So the Scheifele line's projected to match up against the Matthews line. They've been using that Scheifele line against the top scoring line on the other team. And what that really results in is just a ton of offense for both sides. So as far as DFS stacks and Slate ranks, shot overs, like those two top lines, like that's the way to look at it. Go.
Yeah, that's the game stack.
Look at that offense.
Really tough to afford, but Appleton does help. I don't.
Yeah, you might have to do like 2 and 2 or something. The problem is Appleton's not on power play 1, right? So I'm
gonna pull it up really quick because I think they messed around with it. Oh, they just didn't have any run at all. But no, they did. That is what they ran. Wow, they had a fraction of a second. What the heck happened? Whatever. This should be the power play unit though. What's listed here? I doubt that changes. But Appleton still saw 18 minutes because he is good at hockey. So, like you're saying, it's totally fine to play him in DFS. I haven't really looked, but probably not an underdog. You don't really need to get that crazy on a monster slate like this. As far as shots are concerned, let's pull that up. Marner's been a guy I just keep thinking, like, there's no way this guy could miss the net as much as he has. He's going to hit the net. Like, he's good. Isn't he good? But he just cannot hit the net right now. Let's take a peek. I think he's been one of the players that has the most Corsi compared to shots on goal in the entire league. 29 attempts, 12 on net. That's not good.
It's not good. And Matthew's shooting percentage is way down too. So I mean, that stuff's going to bounce back. That's where. When you're projecting it, you're projecting off of historically for these players, and
for sure
that's not in their profile the way they're performing right now. So.
Let's check underdog quick, because sometimes this is where you find the prize picks in the underdogs. I think being even better is including a 2.5 Marner. Nope, he's 3. Darn it, he was 2.5 last slate. That's a spot because this guy is shooting. Like it's right there. We're getting almost 6 attempts, and they're just not getting on net. Same with Connor. It's like, what is wrong with these guys? He's shooting even less than Marner. So if you were to, again, like this is a spot where I think that I'm in a a parlay type of situation. I'm totally fine with the minus 145 being in my build because I think it's much more likely to hit. I know the odds also say that, but I don't think that this is crazy. I'm not taking Matthews in that spot, although I think it's fine. It's like I think it's okay. Like it should hit because he can hit every night if he wants, but I think Marner is probably the best here on the board. Was there anything else that looked weird? Hold on, let me pull that back up again. Ehlers isn't playing. Nylander's he's been pretty juiced, and yeah, there's really no one on Winnipeg. I just think Winnipeg is figuring out under bonus how to play defense, and it's good, but we're also seeing the bonus like let's roll 4 lines a little bit too much, but they get crushed last game. So
that third and fourth line have been out there a little too much for my looking for.
Maybe bonus is figuring. I don't know. Like again, he's dirt old, so maybe he can't figure it out. But if he's going to roll 4 lines against Toronto, that does make me a little nervous. But I don't think you just can't. You have to be an idiot. But then again, it's Rick Bonus. We can let's move to the next game. So I mean, off the cuff, I think this game was a little bit closer to the median. I think this was a decent spot for the Caps, who haven't been great. Let's check. What are the odds? I don't remember. Yeah, 135 is okay. It's okay. There's nothing crazy. It's good. I like that 135. Okay.
Yeah, Kuznetsov's back. So from his suspension. So that helps a little bit, but it's I don't know. The Caps have been weird this year.
Yeah, I think that I like LA more than the public as well. It's just their goaltending makes me incredibly queasy. It's I think Jonathan Quick is very average, and I think Cal Peterson is just completely dead. He was still hurt to start the year. He gets in that first game. I mean, he got freaking worked. I mean, in the time he was in net, I think Pittsburgh had a 1.1 expected goals, and I think they had 4 on him. Maybe they had 3. They had 3 and 9 shots. That's right. I think it was under 1. I mean, they just got land.
Yeah, something's wrong with Peterson this year because he's historically been a good goalie, and it's just not. They talked about it in preseason how they're like, are we gonna have to find another backup? Like, what's going on with Peterson? So, it was kind of scary to see that happen in the regular season too.
This was the return of Arvidsson, finally shooting the puck a lot, which was fun. I had been teetering on it because the model using historical stats loves Arvidsson, thinking that this is one of the better rate shooters in the entire league over the course of the past few years. And, we're getting plus money at 2.5. So I've been leery on it just because the power play role went away. I don't know if I'm all that back on it tonight, but Washington's been bad defensively. We talked about how many shots the Senators had last game. That was against Washington. So, I'm okay with taking a peek here, but the 4.4 shot attempts per game, no power play one time, this kind of made me a little nervous on Arvidsson. Gabe Velarde's been the guy that's taken over that power play. I think, at this point, it's tough to bet. He was plus 700 the first night he got power play 1. I did have a Schmeckel on it, plus 450 as long as he stays there, which after getting pumped 7-1 is not a guarantee. He was out there the whole time.
What's tough to bet with him is he's net front, so it's not like he's the one controlling the puck. So he's either tipping or getting rebounds, and it's it's kind of dependent on whether those shots get through or not. Yeah.
I mean, if we get any indication, and we won't, I was going to promise you that Arvidsson's back on the first power play, I would consider that because he's a bit more net front like Velarde, but I think that he actually is a guy that will move out and shoot.
And he'll control the puck a little bit.
Probably just not.
I will say, if you're going LA on anything, I'd kind of stay off the first line. They're going to be, I think they're going to be over projected on the slate, and they're facing what the Capitals do at home is they put out their fourth line, which is a very good defensive line historically. Dowd and Hathaway are very good defensively, so they've been deploying them against the top line, the top offensive line. So, that's the projected matchup right now, only because Ovechkin's line, they'll try and take advantage of that third line a little bit.
They'll try to get to know out there against him, but
it's the home team that gets, like you said, last changed and all that. So, 50% to 70% of the time is when you'll see these lines face off against each other.
Yeah, honestly, looking at the point props, it's like, man, they really are giving no credit to an Adrian be fine. Shots on goal is double check it. I don't think there's any real juice here. Not really. I probably just maybe Kempe for a point is good. He's just really, really good at hockey.
Yeah, and he's the shooter on the power play. So
yeah, wow. Only the shooter on the power play. It looks like him. And,
yeah,
it's like him and Kaliev, and they're like everyone else. Just you chill. I mean, I guess Gunderstrom scored, but I'm not going to look into that. That's probably just garbage. Okay. Next game. This game, yeah, I think the best line in this game is probably just the Capitals. So if you're parlaying things, and again, one thing that I've talked about a lot last year is like there's no one that is forcing you to bet all the same props in a slip or all of the same. Like you can bet a money line in a parlay, and it's okay. Like you could do that. You could just bet the best line, and then you can bet Marner, and you could parlay these two things together, and minus 135 pays the same, whether it's the Capitals winning or it's a guy getting 3 shots on goal. Like it pays the same. So don't put yourself in a silo. And I see it all the time. I've seen people post like assist prop parlays. I mean, sometimes I'm guilty of it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I will sometimes do it, but you don't have to. You can bet multiple different things they're all uncorrelated events. Like Marner getting 3 shots doesn't help the Capitals win. So why are you saying like I can't do that? Right? Okay, perfect. Pittsburgh and Columbus. Yeah, Pittsburgh been really good. Columbus been kind of weird. This line is kind of maybe intriguing. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you like it for Pittsburgh? Yeah.
Yeah, big time. The model is very low on Columbus this year.
Yeah. Well, their goaltending's been a train wreck.
Yeah, exactly. And the lineup is just not. Look up and down that lineup. I mean, I know they had a Gaudreau, but even with Line A when he's back, there's not a whole lot there. The center depth, I don't know. There's just not a whole lot.
Well, once the first line comes off the ice, it's over. And I think that first line is actually very good, and it's mainly because of Gaudreau, who has dominated every time he's on the ice. I mean, we're kind of getting into I don't want to say Bergeron level because he's not center, but like similar-ish levels of like dominance, and that's why they're playing them so much, and that's why they're DFS relevant on every slate. A guy like Gaudreau, him and Jenner and Werenski. I mentioned before, and I think before you joined, that I would be taking a look at Jenner for plus 230 for a goal because he on the entire slate I think is one of the highest expected goals compared to his actual output. I think he's been the most unlucky player maybe in the league. Might be close with some others, but he has 0 goals on like almost 3 expected, and I don't think he's like terrible.
No, historically he's kind of like that. But it's just because where he's getting his opportunities. But yeah, he can finish. I mean, how many goals did he have last year? Was he close to 30? He was 20 something, I think.
20 something, yeah. Better role, better players playing with him. Huge role. I mean, huge minutes, not in role minutes, whatever. But I think that plus 230 price is juicy. I'm going to include it in what I'm betting for sure. Keep an eye on Gensel. Did we get confirmation today on Gensel because he went to Columbus? If he's out, they had Raquel on the first power play. So yeah, let's take a peek. Let's take a little look here. You know what? This is what the people wanted. They wanted me looking up Pittsburgh information live on the show and not coming prepared. I'm sure everyone that's watching right now is like, thank you. I would have much preferred this, and you telling me that I love it comparatively to you just doing it. Okay, Gensel will not play in Columbus.
Okay, so he's out.
You heard it here first. He is out. They're going 11-7. All right. Don't really mind Raquel then. Shots on goal. What's Raquel? He's probably fine. But really what we're looking at...
Who moves up to that first line is the key thing here. Do they put Heinen up there, or what do you think happens?
Oh, these sons of bitches. Why? Give me Raquel. Who do they move up? That's a great question. I'm sure I can answer it by looking.
Because I think they keep the Zucker, Malkin, Rust line together. That line's been great. So
I would be shocked too. Yeah,
I'm sure it's someone off of Carter's line, either Heinen or Kapanen.
They skated yesterday, and when they skated yesterday, they had lines, and I think I retweeted those lines at the Morning Skate Podcast account. Follow Morning Skate Podcast because I retweet everything there. But now I've gone too far. What the heck? Where? Oh, here it is. Heinen moved up.
Yeah, I figured that'd be the case.
I mean, the Zucker, Malkin, Rust line's legitimately been the best expected goal share in the league. Sorry, how do you pick? You just can't. It shouldn't be allowed.
But I will say that top line for Columbus projects to play against Crosby, and it's not been good defensively. So look at Heinen possibly for inflated stats here.
Yeah, what is him Heinen? Yeah, 350. That feels fine. He's not terrible. Let's just take a peek. I mean, he's been on the third line, so this is, again, we're gonna have to take this with a massive grain of salt because he's played with truly bad players, and now he's playing with Sidney Crosby, who is not bad. But has Heinen been?
My model likes his projections even when he was on the third line for a lot of these overs.
Yeah,
So it's
I mean, yeah, he's in a limited role.
He's a very good supporting role player.
Okay. I mean, I think all three of these are probably in play at the odds they're at because I don't really think this is a bad over bet as everything we're saying. I mean, even this, what was the line though, I guess. That's before we get crazy. I just think this game could go over 6. Oh, come on. Jesus.
Yeah, we had it.
Yeah,
it's
Vegas
everything's
killing us.
I know. And so the PuckLuck projection has it under as one of the suggested under bets today, but it's still like and I'm sure once I take Gensel out, it's going to be even more so.
Yeah, I think it's a.
But think of goal share, Pittsburgh's goal share compared to Columbus's. I really think I still think Heinen's a really good play.
Yeah, honestly, it might just be I wonder what the team total. What's a Pitt team total? Jesus Christ. And this might be one to go over to Prize Picks, which I don't use enough of because sometimes they have some terrible lines. And look, if you could bet over 3 on whoever's in, they might not have goalies yet. Let's take a peek. Sometimes this is fun. This is what the people really come here for.
Jerry's playing. Jerry was confirmed, and Merzlikins I think was confirmed as well. So
we don't have it yet. But if you could get an over 3 on whoever's in for, if it's 3.5, maybe. So the one thing I'll just, I guess, while I'm talking through this on Underdog and Prize Picks, we've kind of found that if you put together a slip of 5, anything better than minus 122s, you're getting an edge on the field. If all of them are better than minus 122, which isn't to say that Vegas is pricing things correctly. Like maybe you can price things even better than them. But if you are doing that and every one of your 5 is minus 122 or better, you're getting an edge on Underdog, you're getting an edge on Prize Picks. And last night, the best edge on the entire thing was David Perron over 2.5, minus 155. It was, straight on both of them. He went for a resounding 0 shots on goal. So sometimes it can have you back. I mean, Perron was in a better role, a better spot. The books, I didn't bet him early on the books. I actually only had him in one slip that I kind of put in last night. I didn't tout it really because once it went to minus 155, I was leery. But yeah, so sometimes you can find those situations which really hurt.
It's the right bet, but Larkin was also out for a little bit, so that hurt their offensive production as well. But
it was just he is the shooter on the power play. That's really what made me want to do it. Is if you watch their power play, and I was watching at the end because I was like, there's no way he's going to get 0, and his stick was in the air on the power play. Like, please pass me. I really am starting to worry Detroit just sucks. I'm getting really close to saying Detroit's actually just terrible, but we're not there yet. Okay, I'm not ready to drop the hammer quite yet. But we can move on to the Slafkovskys, the Wi-Fi's, the Montreal Canadiens, who are probably the funnest bad team in the league, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. If they keep coming up with good nicknames.
Yeah. I don't know why I hate the Habs, but I want them to be to happen for some reason. I don't know what I feel like there's just a lot of likable guys on this team, and I'm just look at this defense. I know we're getting used to the names now a little bit, but holy crap! We started the year with this, and we're all just okay with it. The one stat that I pulled up, I think before you came on with Montreal, that is a pretty massive outlier. I'm actually going to just get every single team in the league in here for this because, I want to really show it off. All right. Yeah. Block shots, 27 for David Savard. Next is Romanov at 19. I mean, that is probably not sustainable, obviously. But I just mentioned that on really small slates, David Savard could be in play in DFS because if he gets the blocks bonus and a couple points, I don't think his ownership's going to get there because of how expensive he's getting. But regardless, this team is just a very weird, fun, bad team that for some reason is winning a couple games and they have Cole Caulfield and Slafkovsky and some fun players.
Slafkovsky is probably not playing today.
All
he's
that being
day-to-day
said,
with an injury.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Rem Pitlick is
with all that being said, he's fun. Okay, so with all that being said, I mean, I still kind of like Dallas fine, but I'm probably gonna fade this one myself. Just Dallas on the road.
Yeah,
The one guy that did stand out was Marchment, but I think this is 2 on underdog, and I bet the over on underdog, and I don't know what it is on Prize Picks. It's 2, very bettable for me because that line has dominated everyone they've played, including guys on like Toronto and stuff. And the 5 shot attempts, I just think that Marchment over two is totally fine, especially because the books are saying it's just a little bit better than a coin flip over 2.5. So that kind of equates to a guy that I think that is good in a slip over 2. But wanted to mention that one for sure.
Yeah, Marchment's been driving play again this year, which is encouraging to see because you were wondering if last year was just kind of a one-off, but he's on a new team and he's doing it again. That line's been really good, that second Marchment Delangelo line.
Yeah, still over 2 for him. So we're still trying. I mean, we mainly Matt has been coursing through like what is like the amount of EV or expected value you're losing by betting a push when the push is more likely to hit than the actual over, because that's kind of what the books are saying. It's like, do you lose enough on the multiplier in these these Prize Picks, these underdogs to deter you from the bet? But this is one that I think is actually like, I think he's just gonna think whoever Marchment goes out against. Let's look what your thing says. They should dominate. I would be really, really surprised if they didn't control by a pretty good margin. And Delangelo and Sagan are also good. Yeah, I don't think this line is very good at all. This here. I mean, look at that defense score. I mean, this is a very
good
bad
defensively.
Line. This is a very good defensive line, and that means that they probably just deter it, stop their offense right away, turn it around, and I think this line could be pretty solid. Now, obviously, on the other hand, Marchment was, I mean, unless if I'm crazy, not power play 1, I can't imagine that'd be the case, unless if they've truly gone crazy on me. But I don't know. I mean, how many minutes of power play time? Like, you're gonna get like maybe 2 minutes. He's on that second unit, which is
not a lot.
We'll see some run. They are rolling 4 lines. Marchment's getting the majority of their 5-on-5 time at any cost. So they're putting him out there quite a bit, and I think that'll continue. So I think that the over 2 is fine, and
I think points wise, this is going to be a boring game. Jake Allen's in net; he's been really good. Jake Ottinger's obviously been really good. He's one of the best goalies in the league so far. So so it's points wise, I kind of stay off at.
What? Yeah, hold on. I just want to check this really quick. What? Is Dallas shooting the puck at all? Because over 29.5 saves for Jake Allen seems, they're not really shooting a lot. They're just not letting.
There was some hope with DeBoer that they'd be shooting a lot more, and it's kind of happened, but a little more opened up, I guess. But they haven't necessarily been shooting at a higher rate. You can just tell their style of plays opened up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. This game's pretty boring. Cole Caulfield almost seems interesting, but I don't know. Minus 175 feels like it's time to jump off. I'm keeping an eye on Miro Heiskanen. The question for me when we started the year, and actually I had someone like reach out to me and be like, is Miro Heiskanen just a lot better now? And I was like, because of, they lose Klingberg, more power play run, etc. And I'm just like, well, does that really change who he is as a player? Fundamentally, no. And I think we're seeing that already, where it's like, it's really tough for me to want to jump on his over on shots because we're getting the same odds for players like Dobson who are shooting double the amount he is. So why not just take that money that I was going to bet on Heiskanen and put it in a better pool?
See more data to support it. Like it's something I would just fade at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything super strong here. I don't hate Caulfield because I don't think the rates are going to fall off a cliff. But minus 175. I feel like you're playing a variance game that could really hurt, and we can move on. This game let's just really quickly look at the points just in case, because sometimes you'll find a guy like what's his name? Yeah, minus 150. Rupe Hintz is okay to parlay. I think he's just really good at hockey. Robertson. Yeah, okay. That would be the one here, I think, if you need one from this game for a massive parlay. We already missed the opening games, but okay, we can move on. Let's keep this going. We're already over an hour. I'm sure a lot of people jumped off because it's Saturday. Why am I still talking? Minnesota's up 1-0. Fun. Where are we? Holy crap, we still have a lot of games left. Okay, Flyers.
Flyers.
Well, suck. Okay, easy.
Yeah. Well,
Nashville
yes,
sucks.
but they haven't. Yeah. Well, Nashville, we have at what, 77% today, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, something crazy.
Boom.
And it's because they get the home matchups. They should be able to take advantage of some of the poor defensive lines that Philly has. Now Philly's been playing a little better defensively just because of the torch system, but unless Carter Hart stands on his head again, it's going to be really tough to see Philly doing anything today.
Yeah, this one's easy. I already put it up, and I will show you. And I think I already I mentioned that I'm going back to Yossi every time. So Nashville, who's shooting the puck for them? Come on, don't freeze. You don't need to. 9.5 shot attempts per game. Okay, easy. Roman Yossi for 3.5 plus money against a terrible team. Just there it is. Boom. This game. Anything else? Anything to add? Move on.
Yeah, go to the line matchups on PuckLuck for this game.
I
want you to look at that first. Look at that first one.
Where is this one? Oh, by the way.
No, it's down.
So many games.
I know. Okay. Now look at that slate rank for the top two lines there. That might be a sneaky DFS in-game stack. It's just the way that Farabee, Konechny, and Hayes have been going.
They're good. Yeah, well, I mean, the total is
offensively. Yeah, offensively, they're terrible defensively. Yeah. So
I was just wondering, like, is the total going to deter people? Because I think a lot of times, a lot of people's process is like, what games have a high total? If they see a super high total, they'll be like, oh, this could be game stackable. Where in this case, it's like, okay, the total's fine. It's not about that. But like, if the total goes over, which is 50-50 about, what does that look like? Well, that looks like these two lines absolutely, probably just lighting up the scoreboard. So I agree. This is nice.
And price points, I haven't checked them, but price points could work with these, and even with throwing Yossi in there on the Pred side. So it's something that you may be doable.
What might be easy is just like not playing Granlund here. Because you just need Duchesne, Forsberg, Yossi. Well, let's take it. But you know what? I mean, I can really quickly just punch this in, and I'm sure if you also do that, you could cross out. Maybe Kevin Hayes might be I don't know. He's useful enough. I feel like Konechny is the guy you need to have in this. But now the problem is that you're running out of wing spots. Let's just take a peek. And we're from Buffalo. You can't run out of wings. So, okay, yeah, about 50. Yeah, I mean, this is not going to be that bad at all, I don't think. If you do Hayes and Konechny, I obviously put in Roman Yossi. There's no way he's not in this. And then I'll just put in let's just put in freaking Jake Allen for now. That leaves you about $4K for a center defenseman and utility, and there's a ton of spots. And you can go more expensive than Jake Allen if you punt another position. I'm sure there's a lot of punts on this slate. We already mentioned some guys like in Pittsburgh, like Dalton Heinen, who is not going to be sneaky at all, but he's 3K. So if you put in Heinen as like a one-off, you can make that work easily. So no doubt that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, but this game, I'm just, unless if, we'll just, what, now I'm going to mention it. I might as well take a peek. What is, Konechny's not even offered right now. He is shooting a lot. He's actually just firing the puck, just having fun out there, doing his thing. No thoughts, just vibes for Konechny. If you watch him play, he's the guy that's just like cutting through the middle and shooting the puck. It's pretty cool. So
he seems like a Tortorella kind of player. So I think as long as he keeps doing that, he's just going to be deployed constantly.
80 minutes in 4 games. That's the Konechny we were hoping to see when we drafted him in best ball. I mean, that was the dream. It was like Tortorella likes him. Oh, he could be good. If I lose him at work, they not played in a minute here. Oh, don't do that. Yeah, wow, they haven't played. Oh, that's preseason. Really cool. That's what I wanted. When was the last Flyers game? Oh, there it is. Against Florida. Oh, yeah, they lost. Oh my God, they covered your bet. I remember that because I was getting on the ice myself, and I was like, oh, okay, Florida just finished this off for me. And no.
Yeah, that backdoor cover with 3 seconds left. Meaningless goal. I love it.
Konechny, all rolls. He's good at hockey. That's really the end of the day. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's get to
I think we're on the Sabres.
Oh, it's the Sabres next. Oh, well, I picked the Hurricanes. That was the next thing that came up for me.
We'll do that
Hurricanes, Flames, if it wants to load, which seemingly does not. Okay, Flames. Wow, Hurricanes. This might be interesting.
This could be one of those sneaky games. Both clubs are really good defensively, especially their forwards are good defensively. But then something could open up, and next thing you know, it's a 7-goal game. It's really weird.
Yeah. I'm trying to reload. DraftKings just wants to be in like super dark mode right now. There we go. Yeah, I feel like this might be a stay away. Calgary or not Calgary, Hurricanes are on like a massive West Coast stand. Flames are really good. I think they're both good. I'm probably just gonna stay away from this game for any of these. I don't think there's a big enough edge to make me want to jump on this.
Yeah, for sure.
Just not fun. Shots on goal. I'd probably go back to Burns anyways, although both teams diminish shots pretty well. Yeah, this game just feels disgusting.
Yeah, this is another one of those games where if you bet money line on either side, you're really just giving money away.
I think it's I totally agree. I think
you just don't have odds in your favor.
I think all the line that's. I think people are going to look at Carolina plus 115 and jump, and I think I'm just going to not do it myself. Just feels a little fishy. Burns 8.5 shot attempts per game. I mean, still dominating. Svechnikov up to the top power play. He's been really, really, really good. Probably just go Burns myself here. I think the Flames will keep pucks out of dangerous zones. I think they've done that pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's take a peek. You know what? This is what the people pay to see. They want to see me pull up a heat map of where Calgary has given up shots in like 3 games. I'm sure that's what they're looking for. So, yeah, this is the net. So yeah, they've kept shots pretty outside. So that means that they're letting defensemen shoot quite a bit. It looks like, which again is 170 minutes on how many minutes we're going to get this season. I don't know off the top of my head, but they've definitely allowed defensemen to shoot because they're playing really good defensively towards the net, which makes sense because they're good. So I'm fine with Burns here as like the player to go with at plus money. He's shooting way more than these odds are telling you it should be for him to hit. Does that make sense? It's kind of the way to put it. I feel like I just put that in the most confusing verbiage ever. He's shooting enough to where this is a good line. There we go. Yeah. And the Flames good defensively just means that they're going to allow defensemen more opportunity to shoot because they're like, fine, shoot from there. We're going to take care of the front of the net.
Yep.
So I am fine with it. Maybe if you're a Sabres fan like us and you watched last game, you noticed Dahlin and others shooting the puck from the point because that's all we had. Dahlin had a bunch. Samuelson even had a good amount. Defensemen don't normally show up on expected goal starts because they're shooting from the point. So, yeah, I think that's actually probably pretty savvy, and this line won't move much all day because I don't think people are going to bet it. Okay, that's the best bet here for me in this game. Anything else that you were kind of scrolling through stuff? Is there anything you wanted to touch on? Huberdeau under a point. Whew, now we're talking. Now we're speaking my language. Plus 180. That's what you want. I just want to check.
They're going to have him against that Kakaniemi line, and it's not their best defensive line. That's the matchup they're going to try and exploit. But
they were moving things around, and they at one point had him. I thought they had him with Mangiapane Dubé, but because he was on the edge when this goal happened. So I thought, okay, well, never mind. We'll just see. I just thought
Sutter tends to stick to his lines, so
yeah, okay. It's one of those plus 180s that I just sit here and I think like Jonathan Huberdeau. Allergic to shooting the puck. Allergic right now. Where is he? Where is he?
Toffoli and Lindholm are definitely the shooters on that line.
Where is he? Okay, he's not even on the page. Hold on. We gotta go bigger. We gotta go 100 players. Where are you?
He doesn't shoot on the power play either. He's looking to facilitate
1.75 shot attempts per game right now. Less than 2. This guy's got to get an assist. You might as well, if you're gonna bet him over, you bet the assist. He just is not shooting. What's his shot prop? They've nerfed the hell out of it. Okay, well, don't bet that. This is perfect, actually. This is the perfect segue back to underdog. Rivals. Do we have Huberdeau? No. I don't think we do. I bet him versus Kadri and he freaking pushed because Kadri didn't get any shots on net. But if you find Huberdeau for like a rival against the other guy, the other guy, because Huberdeau not shooting the puck at all. If Huberdeau doesn't get a point tonight, I'll kick myself later. But his assist prop
if you
is
find
the only bettable thing. Holy crap! Never mind. Just don't.
You're right. If you find a rival, a Huberdeau rival would be like what? I don't know. Teravainen, Aho, Jarvis. They're like the
easy.
Nate, just like any of those guys, I'm taking over Huberdeau for sure.
The easiest game of all time.
Even if they give you a shot on goal with Huberdeau, and I'm still taking like a Svechnikov if that's who they match him up against. So it's just
that's wild. He just isn't shooting. It's as if someone took his stick away when he gets his shooting it's like you lose that button.
He's always kind of like that.
You can't use circle or whatever. I don't play a lot of video games anymore. Can't do it. Okay, so we did this game. We have 2 games left. Which one do you want to do? The Sabres or you want to do Colorado?
Let's do Colorado. We'll finish up with our hometown team.
Save the best for last. Yeah. All right. NHL's finest. Okay. Colorado plus money always initially gets me thinking. This does look like it's priced correctly, actually, though. With a small, I think this is not terrible. I know it's a back.
Yeah, Gorgiev in net today. He's been the better goalie. Between him and Francois.
It's funny you say that because Franco looked good. I know they've both been like.
He was good. He was good yesterday.
Yeah,
but he let a soft one in and it cost him.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was a weird goal. That was really weird. He should have stopped it. But he looked like he genuinely did not understand how I beat him. He looked.
Well, the Kraken almost doubled their shots, which was unbelievable.
Oh,
no one does that in Colorado ever.
Dominated.
Yeah.
They looked world beating in that game. The Kraken could be again. I was higher on them to start the year. It hadn't come together. It finally started to. But yeah, I think this could be I think a little bit interesting in DFS as well, where you look at this Colorado one and just I think you consider it for sure. It's going to be really expensive, and now the game is going to really get all over it.
Yeah, you can consider it. Logan Thompson's been really good though, and the under is what we have the edge on for this game. So
I like that. Actually, but better.
But the goal share for the Avalanche, that top line is unbelievable right now. So it's always safe to put them in any single night.
Yeah, I think this could be an okay spot, honestly, to go to a shot prop for Vegas as well, because Colorado has been giving up shots. It is a back-to-back. I just don't think Colorado minds giving up shots because they think, we can transition way faster and be more dangerous than you in every capacity. So I just don't think they mind giving up shots is really what it boils down to. They'll allow you to get the shot on. They just need their goaltenders to make the freaking saves. But yeah, I don't think this is a terrible spot to look at a shot prop the other way. No one stands out as an absolute monster with rates right now, but
Eichel's been shooting like crazy. It seems like if you watched Vegas, it seems like Kessel's more facilitating to Eichel and Riley Smith than actually shooting. So, which is not normally his game. It is a little bit, but I just thought he'd be shooting a little bit more on that line. But Eichel's been really the one just forcing the puck to the net.
I don't love the matchup with Nertushkin's line, but maybe they'll get him out against the New Hooks and the others of the world when they can. So, yeah, I think Eichel's probably the one here, if anyone. But we can move on to the final game. We'll get out of here. What time is it now? Freaking 1:30. There's real hockey on, and we're just missing it. So, Buffalo, Vancouver. Oh, boy. Sabres are plus money again. I've bet them back-to-back nights, thinking that I was throwing money away, but I think it's I don't know. This is interesting. This is
an interesting game because this is where the model this early in the season, it seems like the model's off on both teams. It seems like it's too high on Vancouver and too low on the Sabres. The Sabres one you can explain because there's just not a lot of data with a lot of these guys because they're young and don't have a ton of experience. The Vancouver one, it's super high on Demko and super high on some other players like Mikheyev and Elias Pettersson, who's been good. Vancouver should be better than they are, I think.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know if they should be as high as the model has them. It's one of those games where with a team that's been struggling like they have, maybe a flyer on the Sabres is actually worth it.
Yeah. This is tough because it's if you just go off of the very recent Buffalo trends of how good they've been, plus the fact that Vancouver's been a train wreck in net, okay, but like,
Mhm.
is that just being reactive or are you actually being predictive? And like, I think it's
Right.
like you're literally just reacting to a very small sample size. Where
Yeah.
Demko's career has been awesome. He's been so good. I think that this game's gonna. I think this game provides very little edge in every capacity, almost up and down the board. People will probably bet Darlene. I think it's maybe okay, but he's actually just getting pucks through a bit more than he probably should, which they've gone in the net. So obviously they've been getting through pretty well. He should not have 4 goals right now, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Let's make it 5 tonight. Yeah, man, it's
That's the thing
maybe a
with
point
Sabres.
prop here.
It's
Seems
the guys you think you should play with the Sabres are the guys you should play. I mean, it's every
yeah,
single night. It's the Thompson, Skinner, Tuck, Darlene. Like it's those guys who are gonna hit your overs and on shots. They're the ones who are gonna score the majority. They have a high goal share for the team. It's just
yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, the Skinner is the one I was thinking. I'm like, -110. Like, I mean, I don't think he has a ton of points right now. So maybe let's actually. Why are we guessing when I literally have it right here? I don't know why. Um, let's pull this up. Let's just take a peek at like the raw stats. The Buffalo, Vancouver. Let's take a peek. What is the okay? Come on, expected goals. Wow, Kuzmenko and Tuck really doing the things. Wait, I'm missing. Oh, there's Jeff. Yeah, it's 1 point. That's probably why it's so low, even though he's been like fine. Yeah, him for a point seems okay. Pedersen's shooting a ton. Kuzmenko, it's like every one of his shots is just absolutely the most dangerous shot ever. It's amazing. He's so good at hockey. I'm just still so high on Andre Kuzmenko that
yeah, for sure.
I may consider a goal prop there. It's probably Freddie Anderson in that. I don't think they're going back to Comrie again. Where is he? 255. Yeah, you can mark me
Craig
down.
Anderson, you mean?
Yeah, Craig Anderson. Did I say Freddie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the other one. They're not brothers, no relation. Yeah, I think Kuzmenko for a goal is cool. Shot on goal, probably if anyone, I don't think any of these are all that juicy, but maybe Pedersen for a parlay piece because he's shooting a lot. And then player prop wise, yeah, I think Skinner's fine at -110. That just doesn't seem right. Like that line is really good. -110, power play 1. I don't really see why it's that far off. If you want to be safer about it because it's a big parlay, you could go with like, you know, a Tuck or whatever. You think they're more involved, but I don't think Skinner is uninvolved. It's just hasn't happened.
That line at even strength is ranked 5th on the slate today, and it's because Vancouver generally tries to deploy Horvat against that top line, and it's not as good a defensive line as you'd think it would be. Horvat, Pearson, and Besser right now are the. Sometimes they'll see the JT Miller line, which is a little bit better defensively, but still, there's a big offensive advantage there for that line. So that's even strength, and
seems...
they haven't really produced on the power play yet as much. There was that one Thompson slap shot or whatever, but if that power play gets going too, then you should see an uptick in all 3 of those guys.
It just seems like Jeff Skinner at a coin flip. So we're saying that he basically is a half point a game player with those odds against Vancouver, right? Let's take the matchup. Right. It's like historically, I know we had 1 year that was really good, and then last year which was really good. There's a couple in the middle, but like I think it's better than a half point a game player. So I just think that the odds are in the favor here for Skinner, but you could be safer with someone else. But I don't think you're really giving yourself a big edge by taking Thompson. Like the odds, one of them are more involved than the other seem low. Okay. Yeah. So the overall, everything, let's give a couple best bets. I queued up a whole plethora here of bets in general. So is there anything I can hear? This could be fun. Let's try this. Wait, say something.
Okay.
It didn't switch to you. Okay, screw this.
No.
I'm not going to get cute. Just give some best bets if you're ready. Take your time.
You really tried. You tried to get cute. Okay, so the big one. See, now you're getting too cute with these screens. The big one is okay. As far as PuckLuck's advantage, the big one is the Jets. Them on the money line seems to be at +145 against Toronto. That seems to be the biggest edge. You're also looking at a strong bet with Nashville. I don't know if you had that one queued up or not, but we have. I mean, Boston's already playing.
Yeah, Boston just took the lead too.
The Colorado Vegas under. That's one that I really like today as well. I think both those teams could be semi-shut down, relatively speaking. So those are the 3 non-props that I would say to focus in on today.
Okay. I think that Winnipeg, it's kind of one of those where it's like, okay, this is nice. The plus 145. I think that, the better team is probably Toronto, but like at what cost? Like how much better?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that the odds are just much in Winnipeg's favor. So I'm just gonna Winnipeg plus 145.
The better team is Toronto as long as Samsonov still plays well. If that goaltending falters,
that feels like one of those.
Then you have Hellebuyck who can steal games at any time. So yeah.
Let me see. I got a lot here. I mean, honestly, I just think that there's a lot of goal props I like, which is strange.
That Heinen goal prop I like.
Yeah, that one seems.
Or was that goal or point?
That was a goal.
Yeah.
Wait, where did I lose my mind? Oh, I was right there. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I'll mark that one down. That might be Dalton Hyman. Is it
Danton? D-A-N.
Dan, you're right. I can't spell. It's not. Just give me numbers. Danton Hyman.
Give some respect on his name. Come on.
Heinen, right? Heinen. H-E-I. Yes. D-T-G, which is anytime goal for anyone that doesn't know. 350. 350. Let's do that. That one's fun. So is there anyone else that's really, really fun? I think I don't know. Roman Yossi, I want to get back to. I'm not going to tweet them all out. That's going to take forever. We went over a lot of stuff. If you didn't watch the show, you're not going to get 18 slips. We'll just clear these now. Okay. Anything else before we get out of here? We get on with our Saturdays and crack beers and I don't know, whatever you're doing.
I'll just say, if you're not a subscriber to PuckLuck and you want to check it out, there is a 7-day free trial for any of the monthly plans if you sign up for them. If you want to try out the most expensive one, which is the VIP, that's $30 a month. Feel free to try that out. And if you ever want to switch your plan, I can make arrangements. So just shoot me a message or something like that. But that way, at least then you see all the options and see what you can work with or what you need and don't need or anything like that. And if you have any questions as to how certain pages can help you, I'm always available. DM, email, anything like that. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's one of the. To me, it's like the problem. Actually, not. This is a good thing. It's like there's not enough people there yet because it's brand new, and people don't just instantly find things. Which you might be thinking, it's like, okay, well, does that mean that there's enough people kind of tracking this? But like on the other hand, all this DFS stuff, no one's using this at all. While Roto Grinders and the sites that are, these guys don't care about hockey. They don't put any time or effort or elbow grease into hockey. All of their stuff's getting used way more. So I think you're getting a much bigger edge by using something that is actually better tailored. So yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm using it every day. I know a few people in the Discord are using it every day, mentioning it. I've seen people kind of posting like, "Oh wow, I really like this one pick. Like I didn't think of this one," because again, all of our priors and biases and everything that goes into our hockey fandom are one thing, but having a model that is not biased and doesn't have a fandom or think about the fact that betting Arizona, for example, at home against Colorado could be just absolutely galaxy brain. Like it doesn't think that way. It's like, well, what's a good bet? Like what is Vegas offering us? And people talk about beating the books. You see different touts like I can beat the book. I can beat the books. Like you can't literally beat the book unless if you're using math. Like I don't know how people think they can just outsmart you can win more bets. And I think that's another thing I see all the time is people that are like, oh, I won 10 bets in a row. And you look at the bets and it's like, okay, yeah, you got a bunch of minus 170 the minus 200 bets that you won. I get that you beat, in theory you still won money, but like you missed 2 of those on a coin flip and you're back to almost zero. So keep in mind like what you're listening to, what you're getting. I am definitely someone that when I look for edges, I'm much more likely to bet plus money things that have an edge because the edge is probably because it's plus money, like it's kind of shifting it up. But that's, I think, where you just get more profitable in the long term. Less things have to go right. Variance can get on your side a lot easier. And I always tell everyone, like, I might not win every bet. I might not win most of my bets, but I will make money. Like, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to make money, if you want to be right.
Exactly. It's proven over time. If you bet with these edges that we're finding, then you will make money. It won't happen every day. Some days are going to be really good. Some are going to be really bad. Some are just going to be middling. A lot of them are going to be middling, but over time, you will make money. A professional bettor looks to make 5% return on investment, and they just make money off of betting a lot. So if you return anything around there, then you're returning at a professional level. And last year, PuckLuck returned at like 7.8% or something like that. So
it's a long game for sure.
It is a long game. It takes patience, and it's early in the season. So a lot of this data is skewed right now. So as things start to smooth out, we'll hit our stride about 10, 15 games in. You'll start to see more consistent data. So.
Yeah, I mean, with any touts or anything anywhere at any time, you'll see hot streaks, you'll see cold streaks, and you'll see people jumping in at the worst times on a lot of bets. And then we see that with players too as well, like player props. People are like, "Oh, what do you think of this guy right here?" It's like you fit 5 times in a row, and it's like, correct. So now his odds suck. Like, that's the point. So definitely, we're gonna be profiting quite a bit on the season. I've already, we pulled a ton of winners yesterday. Yesterday was a really good day. It's kind of like, the way I bet is like, how much upside as well can I get? Because my DFS brain still wants me to win $10,000 every night,
right.
rather than. So we'll have a lot of fun here, and I'll be working with PuckLuck closely, putting stuff out. We'll continue to grow this now that things are sort of the website. I mean, it's just great. It's functioning really, really well, and everything's up and running and operating really good. And we lost such a valuable asset, I thought, in Dom's model, where most of the stuff that I like to use is like that now it's back. So if you used to use that, I think this is like the best thing that exists. That was like the Dom model, which was very profitable and then fell off the Grand Canyon last year.
Yeah, last year was nuts. It was funny when his was falling off, ours was taking off. So obviously the models they vary in different ways. But it's still there. It's proven over time that, any of these models have worked. There's just different ways to get there.
Yeah, no. I think that's the important thing to note, I think, overall of your model, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because it's yours and it's your baby, but I do think it does like good goalies a good bit more. So if you ever see an odd or a line that you're a bit like, that seems fishy, just remember, like, it thinks that good goalies are really, really good, and it's probably not always wrong. I know I was a guy that was like, Shesterkin on the road, I was just taking a lot more because he's really, really good, and the odds just shift way further for a road matchup against, like, whoever. And I'm like, I just think that, whatever. So any last notes before I get out of here?
Well, I'll just touch on that goalie point real quick. The model is known to be a little heavy on goalies, but at the same time, goalies are the only player on the ice that plays the entire game. So it does have a little bit more of an impact than you might think. And some of these other statistical models out there, they are too light on it, in my opinion. Maybe we're a tad heavy, but it's something that has been tested. So, I agree. Right. As far as any other last words, I don't have a whole lot others to say. Check out the site and let me know what you think. I'm always open to feedback. If there's something that can help you, that's reasonable that I can do, I'm willing to add it on there. If you catch anything, because I do make mistakes sometimes when I'm updating just, little things here and there, maybe a player on a line or something like that. There's always stuff like that, but for the most part, I try and keep everything as accurate as possible.
Right. And I think this is going to pair really well with the stuff that we're coming out with at Morning Skate podcast, which is still a bit testing, and we're still kind of getting more stuff together because it's been fun. It's been fun putting things together, and I've been talking about models and things that we're building behind the scenes, but getting it perfectly. The one thing it's been really, really good for is finding like true discrepancies that make no sense. Like the one night we had Kucherov at plus 175 and plus 120, I think, for the exact same bet. Like, it's finding those really well, but we'll go over that later. Thanks again for coming on. We'll do this again soon. We'll just do these shows, and we'll hopefully make a lot of people a lot of money tonight. Already getting some people over here, so I'll make some more tweets, and we'll talk soon. You can stay on if you want to. We can talk after this. If there's anything going on, unless if you're busy, but I'll end the stream. Anyone that stuck around the whole time, and it seems like people did, thank you. Hope you got some good bets in.